The West Virginia Association of Realtors, as the second smallest state in the national realtor family, has a pretty good reputation. One of the reasons we have that reputation is because this year our regional vice president, Mark Mansour, has taken it up a notch and really helped promote the reputation and promote West Virginia as a state. So today we're going to spend a few minutes on WVAR briefing to talk with Mark Mansour about his role as regional vice president. Hi Mark, thanks for being with us today.
Welcome, my pleasure.
Let's start off. You are the Region 3 regional vice president. Region 3 at the national level. Region 3 consists of Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, DC, and Delaware. That's the region. And you're the regional vice president for that region of states for NAR. What made you decide to do that?
Well, you get bit, the bug, when you start at the local levels. It's the ask. Someone asked me to be on a committee in 2003 at the local level.
I look at the local level.
And I'm sure that 90% of the people that are asked get bit, and the bug is there, and they want to move up, and they want to do better. Starting in 2002, 2003 at the local level, I think I was on the committee, the orientation committee.
But oddly enough, don't you still do Huntington's orientation today?
I still do it today.
Okay. So there you go.
But you move up in the ranks because you get bit, and you do the local stuff, and you serve your local members, and then you move to the state association, and someone says, Mark, why don't you maybe be a director on the local level for the Huntington board, represent the Huntington board on the state level. Mm-hmm. Jenny Bunch asked me, and of course you work the ranks, and then you move up on the state level, and you were a big part of what I did on the state level, and then it's the bug, but it makes you want to serve the members of the state association, and that's it's not a self-serving position. It is a member-serving position. Is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
And and I think that we talk about that all the time when it's important to understand that it's okay if something good happens to you because you're serving. And what I mean by something good is somebody from Las Vegas calls you and says, "Hey, I've got this $3 million referral," and because that's not why you're doing it. And you're not doing it for that referral, but if that referral comes and it helps you, or if there are things that you learn that you can take back to your business to make it a better, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as that's not the reason you're doing it.
Yeah, no, and the reason you do it is you do it for the members, you do it for your local board, your state board, your regional board. I mean, I'm here to serve them, and that's I saw that, and the opportunity for the regional vice president came to West Virginia, and you were instrumental. A lot of the players were instrumental in making how I got here.
What came, as you know, we because we have what breaks down to 2 large states and 3 small states, including DC, as a small state. We didn't get fair representation, and a small state, by the way the rotation worked, at one point before you took office, was every 8 years, and so it was very difficult to select someone and say, as a state organization, say, well, who do we think we want to be RVP in 8 years? Well, who even knows what we're going to be doing in 8 months? And so it's very difficult to do that. But one of the things that you did in your administration was make that change. And you were very, I think Mary Dykstra from Virginia, who preceded you, laid the foundation, but you were very instrumental in what I think was unifying the region to a level that it hadn't been unified for a long time.
Let's go back to what in my position right now, what does that do for the realtor members of West Virginia? And let me tell you, in West Virginia, we are known at the national level. The foundation was laid years ago by the Barbara Alexanders, the Bill Burtons, the Paula Millers, the Dee Kennons, who laid the foundation to where WVAR is in the eyes of the National Association. what my purpose is as RVP. Someone come up to me and says, "Okay, I'm a realtor member from Wheeling, West Virginia. With your position, what does that do for me? What I don't want to say what benefit, but what are you doing on the national level to benefit the realtor members of West Virginia?" The foundation was set. Mm-hmm. We're known. But what it does...
And known in a positive way.
Known in a positive way. Yes, positive way. But what that does, what my position and what I can do for the realtor members of West Virginia is I bring our state and our region even farther up. We, again, the foundation was set. We're known in West Virginia nationally. We're known. It's funny, and it happens to everybody in West Virginia. Just general public. Where are you from? West Virginia. Oh, I've been to Roanoke. Mm-hmm. I've been to
Richmond.
Richmond.
Got a cousin in Richmond?
Yeah, I got a cousin in Richmond. That doesn't happen very often anymore, especially on the national level. They know that we are West Virginia and we do good things here. What does that do for the common member, the common realtor in West Virginia? It creates a solidarity for that member. They are known in West Virginia. So when they're out in Pennsylvania or they're in Michigan and they say, "What do you do?" "I'm a realtor from West Virginia." That West Virginia Association of Realtors is known at the national level. We do good things here. I'm just bringing that farther up on the national level, along with Virginia, Maryland,
right,
DC, and Delaware. To go back to kind of your question about the administration of what we did this year, as far as the representation of West Virginia was every 8 years. How do you know who's coming up in 8 years? What we decided in our region, Region 3, was let's get away from it's your turn. Okay, it's a small state's turn every 8 years. Let's scramble West Virginia. You're going to have, or DC or Delaware, you're going to have the RVP for 2018, 2025. We changed. The region came together with the foundation of Mary Dykstra starting it. And we got rid of it's your turn.
Right.
We got to the best candidate. The best candidate to represent the Region 3 on the national level. And that's the process now. So possibly, we went from every 5 years and then every 8 or 9 years to now it's possibly to have the best candidate from West Virginia maybe every 3 years.
Right.
From Delaware every 3 years. From Virginia every 3 years. So it's a process that has turned what Mary started, and I want to say that
you did. That's fair.
Myself, with the guidance of Ray, the CEO, of Glenna Swire, the media past printed, of Lisa Lyons, we created let's do the best candidate forward. And the process, we did this process for the 2020 RVP, and it was beautiful how it happened. Mm-hmm. Without going into the details.
Well, I mean, but it's fair to say that you were the one that jumped on that bandwagon with Mary because it wasn't fair. And there's no one that, it's easy to argue from a big state standpoint, well, gee, I liked it the old way because I got an RVP more often. But in the reality of it, the fairness, the truth of it, and you were, whether you want to admit it or not, instrumental in making that happen, is that now it's just, we throw everybody out there and the region votes on it. And so the region decides who the RVP is going to be. And there's no argument to that. There's no more fair way to do that.
Correct. And again, it's the best candidate available. And so, that realtor member in Wheeling, West Virginia, or the Kanawha Valley, what advantage that you are doing as RVP for us, for WVAR, and that's probably one of the biggest things.
Well, you can't ignore the fact that and you've heard me say this before. I believe that all of our members are, or should be, ambassadors to the world, because no one benefits more from a strong economy and a great state reputation than realtors when people say, hey, this sounds like a good place to live. And they come in and buy homes. And so we should be that way. And I think that we in West Virginia seem to have, and maybe not, maybe we just feel them more because we're from West Virginia, but we seem to have more stigmas, more stereotypes to contend with than anybody else. And when you're at the national level doing the things that you do and generating more respect and more, I don't know if admiration is the right word, but just more respect for the state. And you know, we're the second smallest state in terms of membership in NAR's family. And yet we do more than a lot of big states do. And when we have people like you waving that flag at the national level, then they see that. And I don't know that there ever was, but if there was ever a hesitancy, say to, you know, I have a referral for West Virginia, but gosh, but now they meet people, they know people. It wouldn't be unusual for somebody to pick up the phone and say, I have a referral in Wheeling. Can you help me out, Mark? And you can, because you know nobody in West Virginia, nobody in the real estate world survives without a network. And every member of West Virginia benefits from the work that you do at DC, just in terms of helping, or as RVP, not in DC, just in terms of helping the reputation of the state.
What you just said, you know, without what you even know, because you don't know what calls I get. I get those calls. Mm-hmm. It was so,
well, I might. You don't know what I know.
Maybe. But it was very interesting. We had a regional meeting in Charlestown,
right?
To break down that it's your turn, and we were successful, and it's the best candidate for it. But at that meeting, I had a fellow RVP from Region 11 from New Mexico call me and say, Mark, I've got 2 referrals, one in West Virginia and one in Virginia, and I'm sitting there, and I looked at the state president and president-elect and then the CEO from Virginia. I said, do you know someone that I can give this referral to? And I think it was Culpeper, Virginia. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh my gosh, yeah. And then there was one in West Virginia. And so someone from New Mexico,
right,
called me for referral in different parts of West Virginia and Virginia. And it just cements exactly what you said. It's a network. Mm-hmm. It's to let the National Association knows. People at the National Association know, and you know, they say, well, you know, you got all these people in California and Florida, but they know what West Virginia does.
Absolutely.
They know what Region 3 does. And if you look at a map, and I've always told the other CEOs, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, DC, we are strategically placed as Region 3. I think it's probably one of the most important strategically placed regions as our locale to DC,
right,
and the National Association there. I think we're one of the most important regions as far as when it comes to the political party and it comes to the realtor issues. So,
and nuclear winter if we're ever attacked.
Oh yeah, true.
It's that same, and it's an odd. You know, if you look at, Virginia, West Virginia kind of makes sense geographically, and you can add Delaware and Washington D.C. or not Delaware, but in Maryland, because they all kind of. But then Delaware kind of is the odd man out, so to speak, just geographically.
Right.
But yet it's such a great mesh, people-wise, personality-wise. It's just a great region, even though geographically you look at it and you kind of scratch your head a little bit. How did this work? Because, we could have just gone south. We could have, but we didn't. And we didn't pick it. But, they could have just gone south. But it's just a great mesh of people.
Yeah. And the people you meet, the networking, you know it. It benefits every member, every realtor member of WVAR in the position that I have. So when they say, why do you take time out? Why do you do what you do? What is that going to benefit me as a member of WVAR? It does benefit them.
And it does in terms of just the presence and just the, because of these mid-year meetings, there's not and you serve in this role too with Congressman Jenkins, but we walk into the Capitol and our folks know us, and they know us not because we're storming the doors and because we contact them. They know us because we participate in that process, so that we've done the things that NAR said, here's how we want you to help us in terms of lobbying, and so we do walk in those doors, and they know us, and we pick up the phone and they return the call, and all that stuff is is a trickle down benefit, because if we can call our members of the House of Representatives or our members in the United States Senate and say, hey, we need some help, and they listen to us, that does benefit every man. It's the hardest thing to politics and political influence, so to speak, are the most difficult things to quantify on the state level, the local level, and the national level. But I'm here to tell you that, and you know, that one piece of legislation can change the way we do business forever. And yet our members don't appreciate sometimes the need, why we have to be there and why we have to have that presence, and why we ask for those RPAC contributions. Because you talk about the buzzword
is one.
Yeah, you talk the buzzword of real estate now is disruptors. That's all we hear when we get these national meetings. This disruptor and that. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. There's no bigger disruptor than a piece of legislation that could change everything you do in one signing of a piece of paper.
People don't understand that. And you, as our lobbyist for WVAR here in Charleston, you know that, and you as a CEO and the FPCs, the Bob Kennons, the Nancy Williams, the Paula Millers, the Kathy Martins, and myself, we know and we watch what the issues are, and they don't understand, and I think our members understand. You know, our members get it. Our region gets it. They understand that this legislation let's just, for example, flood insurance doesn't get extended.
Right.
How many deals are stalled and killed and are stopped?
Or unaffordable.
Yeah. So, you know, they don't understand. I mean, I think they do understand, but the impact that WVAR, West Virginia, has.
Right.
And the recognition that we get, and the importance that the national level knows West Virginia is in the house, and they understand it, and they know when we're there.
Well, and we have, you know, some of the great reputations we have. Well, at your reception that we had when you were giving out your Region 3 jackets this last time. Yeah, everybody walks in and goes, oh, you know, if West Virginia is the host, it's going to be good food.
Yeah.
That's not a bad reputation to have. Or, you know, for a while we were doing caucus updates by video, and the only reason that happened is because one of the previous RVPs saw the videos that we do, like this, and they said, you know, Ray, how can you help us? Mark, how can you help us do videos like this? So, I mean, we have a reputation. It's a good reputation, a strong reputation, and the only way you get that is by the things that we're doing. That doesn't mean that we ignore anything at the state level or the local level, but and sometimes anybody that knows me knows that the national participation oftentimes is begrudgingly, because I believe that our main job is to do what the members need at home. But at the end of the day, there are some things you still have to do at the national level, and there's a trickle-down benefit for that.
And then we take care of our local boards, our state boards. But when it's time to shine on the national level, 2 or 3 times a year, we shine.
Absolutely.
And our region shines. You know, kudos to the District of Columbia, to Delaware, to Virginia, to Maryland. They shine. And right now, if you looked at the map, I think we are shining very big. West Virginia is right now.
Absolutely.
So to answer your one question, and in a barrage of all these comments, why do I do it? I do it to make us shine, to make our members better, you know, and that's how and why, you know, and family. I can't, you know, you can't do this without family backing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and without Ray's backing, and without the Barbara's backing, and without the Amy White's backing. I mean, everyone involved. If they're not pushing me from Jeanette to you, I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I need all that support, and I like it. And it makes me smile that the West Virginia Association of Realtors in Region 3 is in the national spotlight, and we are. Mm-hmm. And I know the regular member in Mercer County can't see that, but the effect that we have on it, it's a safety for that.
Mm-hmm. I'd ask you, typically I ask for final thoughts, but I don't think you can do a better final thought than you just did. So let's just wrap it up, and appreciate it, Mark.
Sounds
Thanks.
good. Let's eat lunch.
All right. Hope you enjoyed today's edition of WVAR Briefing. You know, we've had a long list of RVPs that have done us proud in West Virginia. Ending with Mark, and hopefully not ending forever, but currently with Mark, I should say, and Barbara Alexander, who was RVP when I first took this job, Bill Burton prior to me taking the job, Paula Miller. We've had a great list of regional vice presidents from West Virginia, all that have made our reputation and our state a proud member of the National Association.